Sei forte, sai, certe volte. Facciamo la scena. Finalmente possiamo cominciare. Ciao singer, welcome to my channel. I'm 𝐼TA Italian singer and voice teacher. Here on my channel you can find everything you need to work on your voice and make it better. Every week I publish videos of vocal exercises in different keys so you can train not only your vocal folds but also your ear. If you want to become a professional singer, subscribe, turn on notifications so we can practice together every single day. So today I'm very excited because today I'm gonna make my third reaction and analysis video on Olimpico, Ogni pietra by DIMASH KUDAIBERGEN.
In Italian language!
Thank you, Dimash. If singing is your passion and you too want to learn new things thanks to the beautiful voice of Dimash, I wait for you in the second part of the video. I would like to apologize in advance for any incorrect terms or phrases because I'm Italian native speaker, so thank you for your understanding. And if you want to watch the full version of this video without any interruptions, click on the original link in the description down below. So let's get started! Beautiful, Dimash.
E non aver paura
This is a triumphal start. This is a triumphal song. Wow.
Beautiful work, DIMASH KUDAIBERGEN.
Okay, are you curious to know what the great Dimash teaches us today? Let's start with the analysis. This song, Ogni pietra Olimpico, was composed especially for Dimash by the Russian composer 𝐂𝐵 𝐔𝐬𝐿. It was premiered at the opening of the second European Games on June 21 in 2019 in Minsk, Belarus. This video is from the 𝐅𝐚𝐢𝐫 concert in Astana, Kazakhstan on June 26, 2019. Dimash sings in a very good Italian. Thank you, Dimash, for singing in Italian language. So I would like to thank all the people who recommended me this song because it's very beautiful. I love the arrangement and I think that is perfectly sewn on Dimash's voice. Every song for us singers, it's like a dress. And I think that this beautiful dress is perfectly sewn on Dimash's voice because it enhances all the characteristics, all the abilities of his voice, his beautiful colors and his wide vocal range. Now that we listen again this piece, notice the duality created for Dimash by the composer. Dimash is really an outstanding artist, so he shows us this duality with different vocal attitudes. Like in the first part, we will listen a deep tenor voice, and in the second part, we will listen a brighter soprano voice. Take a look at this duality in the song. So these different vocal attitudes, as we will hear, produce different sounds. So we can have in the same song multiple singers. This is one of the biggest Dimash abilities, to use his many facets to give different emotion to the audience. So in this first part we will listen Dimash using a very deep tenor voice because in this song we have different characters. For example, in this first part we have the deep tenor, so we will listen a deep voice. You can try this sound, for example, lower larynx, like this. I think the lowest note of this part is D sharp 3. Listen again with me. This first part with a deep voice. Look at the posture. Relax the jaw. Okay, in this first part, as I said before, we listen a deep tenor voice. So this is the first character of this song. The lowest note of this part is the D sharp 3.
D sharp 3. 3 is an albero.
It starts with a descending major sixth interval. You will start to memorize this interval for your future. From D4 to F3. Ogni pietra ed ogni fior. Ogni pietra ed ogni fior. Here the sounds are very round and homogeneous. Pay attention to how he sings the vowels. For example, in this first phrase, ogni pietra ed ogni fior. If you want to sing this part, think that you have an egg in your mouth. Ogni pietra Notice how he relaxes his jaw, like this. This is a very important thing, and I put this exercise of relaxing jaw in my complete body warm-up for singers. I suggested to make it every time you sing because it's very important for you and helps you to release tension from your face. In this case, we have another change in his larynx. Now you can listen the difference to this phrase in a neutral position of the larynx. Ogni pietra ed ogni fior. Okay, and now I put the larynx lower. So I tried this sound, I tried to make this sound like him. It's a descending major sixth interval. Ogni pietra ed ogni fior, terra nostra. E poi via dicendo. So, do you feel the difference? Listen again. As I said before in the previous video of SOX reaction and analysis, for low notes I suggested to use a little bit of hair. When you are to the bottom or to the top of your vocal range, you don't have to use a lot of air because your vocal folds tends to open. So try to go down with a little bit of air. On the contrary, you will lose the sound. For example, for me are low these notes. Terra nostra è fatta per amor, siamo figli suoi, siamo figli suoi. Wow. This is the bottom of my vocal range. If you push too much air, you will lose this note. Try the lip roll exercise to reach this note, and start maybe two tones up. Siamo figli suoi, poeti ed eroi, la vita nasceva e non si fermerà. I don't remember. This is an opera song and Dimash sings very well Italian language. He uses correctly the vowels to create an homogeneous sound. Homogeneity of sound is one of the aspects that characterizes classical singing. In fact, here the greatest difficulty is precisely to maintain a certain homogeneity throughout the piece, despite the fact that the voice moves up and down in the vocal range and changes the emission frequencies. So now we will listen the second part also with this deep tenor voice. Pay attention that in the second part from Velocità del generoso cuore, the drum doubles, and this makes this piece even more captivating. And then from Vai si te stesso, the drum returns as before. So,
We listen.
Tiki 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 tiki. sing. This is the first part from G3 to C3. This is a descending perfect fifth interval. Listen again this beautiful transition. We have a deep tenor voice, but he is preparing us for different characters, soprano voice in the first part of this beautiful song. So listen again. Transition. Okay, another important thing, when you go up, and this is a beautiful transition, he starts to
make it,
so he starts to lighten the sound, and you can feel this sound more brighter because he's preparing us to the different characters, the soprano voice. So go ahead. Okay, now things change. Another time, and Dima sings like a soprano with a soft, brighter voice of a soprano. We have a simultaneous onset. This is very used in classical singing.
I'm confused from the start.
This song changes a key so many times according to the beautiful eclectic voice of Dimash, so I think this song is perfectly sewn on Dimash's voice. This is a beautiful D5, and this is a simultaneous onset. It means that your vocal folds simultaneously going to vibrate with the air. It's not a strong onset. Gira il mondo anche se. And this is another simultaneous onset. I'm so confused from the notes. Another simultaneous onset. Sei forte, sai. Gira il mondo anche se. Here Dimash increases the volume and his attitude is more strong than before. Listen again with me. Okay, listen the difference between this first part of soprano voice and this second part. Gira il mondo anche se sei forte, sai, e non aver paura. Sei forte, sai, tu sei più forte dei tuoi guai. Relax it, Joe. And he put his sound in a resonator. And also, look at his posture, he supports very well his voice. Beautiful pronunciation of Italian, yes, very well, very good job, Dimash. And for this long note, abbraccialo, support, support, support. Here Dimash increases his volume and his attitude is different, is more strong, powerful, because he's preparing us for the following explosion. So we listen to this next part. Beautiful. Okay, here in this part he uses a very bright, brilliant and powerful, strong voice. Listen to this beautiful transition, and in the final part of this part, he supports very, very well his voice. Wow, this is D6 with a beautiful vibrato. Listen, listen again. Beautiful, beautiful. This is hard work, trust me. Hard work. Hours and hours of practice. Now listen the transition in his voice. Listen to his voice. I want to say an important thing. He passes from D6 because he sings from his sixth to G3. This is a very difficult passage. Hard work. Very compliment to Dimash. Incredible. Now, in the next part, we will listen the transitions because he starts with deep tenor voice, and then he goes to a soprano voice. And then he preparing us for the epic triumphal ending.
Listen with me.
Bye. Vai Dimash.
Sei forte stai e non aver paura, sei forte stai, tu sei più forte dei tuoi guai e non città, e generoso cuore raggiungilo, abbraccialo.
Listen the transitions. Deep tenor voice. Fratellanza e libertà. Soprano. C5. E5. Wow, a beautiful epic ending. Whoa, wow. So in this last part we are flying high with the Dimash voice because he goes to the highest part of his vocal range, of the highest part of his voice. In this part we can feel all the characters of this beautiful story in this song. We can feel the deep tenor voice and also at the same time a soft, gentle soprano voice, but at the same time a very strong, powerful soprano voice. So listen again with me this beautiful ending with the highest notes of this song. Listen the difference between this final epic triumphal ending in this beautiful song and the ending in SOS. That ending is in pianissimo. So Dimash proves once again that he has one of the most eclectic voices in the world, and he proves once again that he is a very vocal athlete. This is a result of hard work. I won't stop to tell you this because hard work, practice makes you a good singer. And I can say that Dimash is certainly a perfectionist because his search for details, his care, his precisions make him unique in the world. Okay, here's 4 tips that we have learned today with the big, beautiful top performer Dimash. Number 1, we must support our voice practicing regularly breathing exercises because the breathing is one of the pillars of singing. Number 2, we can create different colors with our voice, gently moving the larynx. For example, in this song, Dimash chooses to slightly move down gently a little bit in a lower position to recreate this deep color. So I'm sure you've done it once in your life, for example, imitating bad characters of a movie. Ha 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 ha.
Ciao singer!
Number 3, even if we sing different sounds very near each other, we must seek for the homogeneity of sound, making regularly breathing exercises and trying to stable the larynx in an elastic and flexible position with any rapid changes, for example using my sirens vocal exercises, because they helps you to move gently from the bottom to the top of your vocal range with the minimum vocal effort. And another exercise that can be helpful, for example, are glissando. Sirens. Number 4, the last but not least, the dedication to work of Dimash. I will never stop saying that he certainly, obviously, has a beautiful gift from nature, but he worked so hard to get here. And I wish him to continue singing for the world and teaching us this beautiful, beautiful art. And if you followed me this far, I want to thank you very, very much. Write me in the comment what you think about Dimash and what other reactions that you would like to see here on my channel. And if you want to support me, subscribe, thumbs up and turn on notification. Grazie mille, ciao singer!